Hello and welcome to GoCast. Today we're hosting Gregory LePard, a really fun conversation. Greg is a author and also a cybersecurity specialist. Enjoy the GoCast. Hey Greg, welcome to GoCast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's cool to have you. We have been talking like a long time ago now, so it's a real pleasure to host you today. Can you just tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from, what you like, what you don't like, what's your hobby, and all of that?
Biography? No problem. Actually, right now I'm in Toronto, but I do travel quite a bit. So I spend most of my winters usually in Merida, Mexico, because I love Mexico. That's my
Oh,
place to be when I can be. And I spend most of my falls in Ireland, in Galway, Ireland. My wife's from there, and we do some business over there as well. So I work from there. 3 years ago, decided to start something. So I just do cyber awareness training for companies that need help. So I help companies with cyber awareness training. I've written 4 books, fifth one coming out
four
actually,
books.
I hope in 2 weeks. Yeah, 4 books. 3 are bestsellers on Amazon, 2 are bestsellers at Barnes & Noble. I'm actually shelved at Barnes & Noble in a couple of stores, including Buffalo. It's kind of cool going to Buffalo, seeing your book on a
Nice.
shelf.
Do you have a copy
So
close
they
to
bought
you
them.
that we can see, or?
I'm most of you. So this is the last one I did, cyber recovery.
Okay, nice.
And this is actually a step-by-step guide after a cyber attack, what to do, and you can't read it because my camera's not picking it up.
I
So
know, I
like,
love it. And that
but
one we
public
can
coverage.
find on Amazon, right?
Amazon. If you're in Canada, Amazon's the best place. If you're in States, Barnes & Noble is the best place
Very cool.
to get it. The fifth one's coming out in a couple of weeks. I'm only saying that because we're in the middle of editing it. And editing, anyone who's written a book, editing is the worst part. Writing is not that hard. I wrote all of them in Mexico when I was down there last time. Editing takes almost forever in 3 days.
How did you start from being in cyber? And I guess you were in sales, or are you still in sales, I guess?
I kind of do sales. So with my team, I have a team of like 7 now. So I kind of do sales with them once in a while as the overlay, I guess as a sales overlay for the last part. I'm not doing actually direct sales anymore as much. I love sales, don't get me wrong. But I'm not doing I don't cold call anyone anymore.
So how did
speak,
you
right?
switch from that to writing books out of nowhere? You were always wanted to do
No,
that?
I got a job as an SE for a little while, and I was working in Mexico during COVID because we all could do that, right? And well, not in Mexico, but you could work from home. I guess I was in Mexico. And they startup ran out of money, and they said we have to make changes. And I was like, I still had I think 6 weeks till my flight, 7 weeks till my flight, whatever. It was a long time till my flight came back. And so I turned to my wife, I said, so what should we do? Do I fly back? And so we talked to somebody, our neighbor there was part of Palace Resorts. And he said, we're having a problem with our staff and them clicking on things. I said, well, that's like everyone. And so he said, can you come in and train the staff? And of course, because it's no Spanish, no problem. Well, broken Spanish, but not bad. And so I trained them. And then I realized, well, maybe there's something in this. So came back, talked to some people, and we just started a small company. And I mean, it's small, but we started a company doing that. And that's what it came to be. My real goal, though, funny enough, was become a cloud guy. So I got all my certifications in the cloud because I wanted to become a cloud consultant and cloud everything, because everything's cloud. And no one would hire me. I couldn't get a job. Even
So
if
to that point, cloud, because everyone say cloud, cloud, cloud. Between you and I, is it like cloud? Isn't it more like a server in a closet in Cleveland?
a cloud's kind of like AI is a buzzword now, to be fair. Cloud was just a buzzword 4 years ago. I mean, you're right. Cloud is just a server, someone else's office. I mean, it's a managed service cloud, managed service server. I mean, MSP, when you get, if you do anything managed services, cloud is just a managed server. That's all it is. Could be anywhere, right? You're right. Cleveland, Australia, wherever, it doesn't make no difference. Yeah. But I mean, everyone's talking cloud, like I say, that's the greatest thing. Now, if you're a techie like me and like that, cloud's wonderful because we can upload anything and actually expand anytime we want. So we need more memory, more CPU. We can do it in a second. It's great. Can't do it on a computer. But for the average person, cloud's no big deal. And in fact, you've been using cloud forever. People don't realize your email's been on cloud forever in 3 days. When you went to Gmail or you went to Hotmail, can I go back further back? What's further back to Hotmail? AOL.
Yes.
If you're at AOL, I'm to go back as far as again. Sorry, my brain's not working. That was cloud.
Of course.
The email was on cloud. There's nothing new. And even AI, like when you think over a second, and AI is a little more expanded to be real, but AI has been Google searches for years. Just now it writes in English back to you. I mean, when you go to Google, I use Perplexity, but if you go to Google or Chatbot or whatever, you type something in, it just writes the answer back to you in English. That's all, or French or whatever language you're in. Whereas Google's been doing it for years. We type in, what's the best watch to buy? Google gives you a search in seconds. That's AI.
True.
That's AI as well. It's just machine
Learning.
Right?
Of course,
I mean,
it's
AI.
been there for so long.
Yeah.
That's not new. It's just like on steroids now, though. There's
Yeah, it's gone like crazy. And this thought that is, I mean, and it's very narrow, and you know that too. We're still in narrow AI, everyone. Narrow AI cannot think for itself. It only knows what we know. And I do this all the time in training classes. And you know this, of course, very well in your company too. But if you ask it for what's the cure to polio, it'll give you great answers about John Salk, what he did, his thesis, blah, blah, blah. If you ask what's the cure to cancer, it doesn't know because we don't know. So it can only know what humans know today. It's not smarter than any human being. Now, it's smarter than you and me, of course, because it has everything on the
Yeah,
internet.
it
it's a lot
can
smarter than I
fast
can.
track a lot of things, right?
Oh, 100%.
Were you using some
But
AI
it's not
to write your book?
only for the editing. So we use Grammarly
Yeah.
in the editing session, but we don't. But the actual writing, no. So what it does is it formats it for you. So we try, because I wrote it kind of linear, and it said to me I should do it in like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So it does it separates it for you. But it's just Grammarly that way. We never used AI for any writing itself. And I used AI for background checks on a couple of things I wrote because I know I've been wrong. I mean, I don't know everything, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I was aligned to someone. So, but no, we didn't use AI. No.
So,
not at all.
Greg, I recall you used to work, was it ForcePoint, or you were in one of the
Yes.
large vendor of that kind?
I worked at ForcePoint and Radware. I worked
Where
both
do
of them.
you think these guys are going and thinking right now versus where they were when you were there?
In one way, do you think like what their next steps are, or what they're thinking
What's
for the
their
future?
vision? And this AI, but also cloud and all those buzzwords that we see in here right now.
I think all those manufacturers are in trouble, and they're in trouble in a way that people aren't thinking. It's kind of like your cell phone, your computer, and everything else. So managed service companies, I mean, MDR is a good example, managed firewall, whatever you're doing like that. These are important services that will make any difference. They'll always be there. There always has to be someone in some sort of SOC somewhere watching log files, most boring thing in the world, to make sure things happen. And I'll tell you a funny story about CIO. I just had virtual CIO work. I thought it was hilarious at the end. And so that would be important. The firewall I have today is good enough forever. The IPS you have today is good enough forever. The PC you have today is good enough forever. The cell phone you're carrying today is good enough for the rest of your life. The reason why you're getting a new one is going to tell you to, and they make them slow down. The fact of the matter is 95% of the public doesn't need anything more we have today. What we need is more managed services, more understanding of what not to click on, and better backup of everything so you can recover. That's the most important things. So what's happening to manufacturers, they're trying to create this buzz around something that's not real.
So basically what you say is the technology is to a level that we don't need more of it. We just need to understand it better and use it better and manage it better.
100%. And that's the real where we are. And so they come with these firewalls, these rules, these features. Who really needs them? I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to knock the manufacturers. I understand they make money, that do what they're doing. But we've got to the level now where 95% of the people have everything they ever need in a million years. I mean, I thought we had 4G, now we're to 5G. For how much faster does your phone have to be getting internet? What are you surfing? Are you downloading War and Peace in 3 minutes? Is that your goal in life?
I think that they're still trying to go through those elevators and concrete stuff, right? Which have not been any breakthrough yet. It was supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It did that. That'd be that's all. We're talking. Everything's about speed, and even here at home, I have Bell 5G internet up and down. For what? I don't know what I bought it for. Like I said, it's literally we're doing everything so much faster, so much more speed. We have this need for this now. And I mean, we've been around long enough, Julian. If you had RIM in the old days, the Blackberries, and the first RIMs, and it was just a RIM on it before Blackberry, and you got an email like once every 3 hours, you were happy.
I just had a flashback, Greg. I'm sorry. I just recall my Blackberry. I used to love it so much.
I still do.
That thing.
I miss my Blackberry. But you remember, if you got emails on your RIM, you remember the one hand, the single thing like a pager. If you got an email like once every hour, you're like a happy, oh my God. Nowadays, if you don't respond at 35 seconds, people are like, oh, this is,
Oh, yeah, no, that's crazy. I leave the office here with my mailbox close to empty, like, because I have that disease where I need to have my mailbox, everything clean and insert to everything. And I get home, which is 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 max if there's traffic. And I have 55 email when I get home. I'm like, what?
And for what? And so it's funny. I tell my staff too, I say, your phone's a phone and call people. Get off this message, this chat. We become so immune to talking to each other. It's ridiculous. But like, this is great, a real conversation, even better in person. But I mean, we stopped talking to people. So anyway, back to the main thing. I think manufacturers having a slight problem now convincing people are smart. They need more technology than they have today. We need to get smarter about technology, smarter about what we're doing with technology, but we don't have to get more technology. I mean, we just have too much. And you know that too. How many times you go to someone's office and there's just too much stuff there? For what reason? They're buying all this stuff is not integrated and working properly. So they really should get more consultants in place and more understanding of what they have today before they move forward with other things.
Yeah, well, that's very true. Although, in this consumerization era, it's less and less, hey, let's hire people to tell us what to reduce, where to have a,
Well, 100%. I agree. But I think this manufacturing problem, I think everything's problem is like coming up, and that's not just technology, that's cars,
it's everything. Buy more.
Clothing, everything. Buy more. We don't need more anymore. We need less. True. And so, and really technology, and I find it amazing, it's too, the amount of cyber attacks is insane. There is so much defense they put in place and again, I want to be careful when I say this. You need a firewall, you need antivirus, you need
all those layers.
I'm saying here, in depth for sure. But all this crap's out there in your network, and you're still getting ransomware. You're still getting viruses.
You know that.
And the reason for that is,
Have you heard of that
go ahead.
zero waste philosophy? Like people trying to consume as less
Yes.
as they can and produce like the less waste possible.
Yes.
Maybe we could have a philosophy and shift that into cybersecurity, right? You know,
And I think better. And I think it's also that people feel empowered by technology that isn't the last line of defense. The fact of the matter is, you get everything in place. If someone clicks on the wrong link by the right hacker, it's still going to go down. I mean, it's still a fact of the matter. So don't think all this security defense is helping you 100%.
True.
Is it help you a lot? I'm not at all arguing that. I mean, it'd be crazy not to have the stuff in place, but it's not 100% protective. Same with your car. I mean, so my car has self-braking, self-everything, self-lane. I mean, I should never get in an accident, but you're supposed to get in an accident in my car because you self-drive the car, right? You can't just like pretend the car's right for you. So, I mean, I don't know if you have this in your car, but I have auto cruise control.
Yep.
So my cruise control will adjust by the car in front of me. So I can go cruise control. And actually, I don't trust it because I shouldn't trust it because one day I will slam in the back of why I was a cruise control.
Yeah.
Like, you know, now it does a good job, 100%. So same thing with cybersecurity. You can't just assume everything's there all the time for you. You have got to learn about cybersecurity. And that's why I wrote the book, Home, and I wrote for Alert, is I wrote the one for Home. So it's basically a checklist at home, how to make sure your home's secure and safe. And I also wrote one for, if you're a remote worker, how to make your remote office secure and safe comparatively. And those two books wrote together. Now, funny enough, the one book that failed, my one book that failed totally, was the one about children. I wrote a book, everyone read a book about children, how to protect your children, and it failed. The book didn't sell at all. Well, it sold maybe it sold like 600 copies, but it didn't sell that well. I was like, well, what's going on? Another thing I'm talking about too, by the way, there's no money in books. There's zero money in buying books. You will not get rich making a book unless you're Stephen King.
Cool. Well, it's been a real pleasure to have you on the podcast, Greg, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and see you soon.
Talk to you later, KJ. Bye for now.
Bye.